University, and he will forever be known as the Bobo doll guy, right? So the main takeaways of the Bobo doll experiments was, in essence, what he did, and this is from the 1960s in research, is he had a Bobo doll. They're the kind of blow-up weighted dolls that go back and forth, and they were a popular toy in the 1960s. And one of the things that occurred with the Bobo doll experiments is that Bandura came up with these 3 film endings. And in one film ending, there was the Bobo doll, a mallet, like a hammer, and a female adult, a white woman. And what happened was she interacted with the Bobo doll by hitting it, by kicking it, by banging it with the mallet, and by yelling a novel word that they made up to see if the kids would repeat it, Socceroo. Okay? And then what they would do is the child would individually see this film ending, and then they would go into a room and play with the Bobo doll, and you would watch how they interacted with it. And they were looking for repeating these behaviors, imitating these behaviors. This was really looking at what's called observational learning, which is also called observational conditioning, which means seeing and imitating. Okay, so it's like seeing an experience, seeing all of this unfold, and imitating it in your behaviors. So I had a student reach out to me and said, what is a great way to help my young child love to read? And I said, one of the most helpful ways to have your young child love to read is to read to them and for them to see you reading. So for the child to see that the household kind of reads, is leveraging observational learning, observational conditioning, seeing it and then imitating it. Okay, the second film ending was the Bobo doll, everything in the first film ending, the mallet, the same white woman that was hitting and kicking and banging the Bobo doll with the mallet and yelling Socceroo, but there was one more thing that happened. There was a male, an adult white male, that yelled after the female whammed up on that Bobo doll, "You're a champion." You're a champion, every time she whammed up on that Bobo doll. Now, what that was imitating was vicarious learning or vicarious conditioning, which means that you learn by seeing an experience and its consequences. And then, based on its consequences, if they're reinforcing or punishing, you either imitate it or don't. Okay, so let me give you an example. So let's say if someone's walking down the hallway and there's water there and someone slips and falls and someone sees that, they're not going to walk on that spot, because they saw through vicarious learning that someone walked on that spot and they fell down. They saw the punishing consequences, therefore they're not going to repeat that behavior. Similarly, if you're in a young child's classroom and a child answers a question right because they paid attention, and the teacher says, "Good job," and gives them a sticker, "You paid attention and you got it right," then the other little kids in there might try to pay attention and get it right. They're learning from vicarious learning, vicarious conditioning. And then the third film ending in the Bobo doll experiments was there was the Bobo doll, there was the mallet, but there was no female adult interacting with it. And then what he did was had the kids, after watching either film ending 1, film ending 2, or film ending 3, interact with the Bobo doll to see what they did. And the most aggressive behavior came from vicarious learning and vicarious conditioning. The second most aggressive behavior, came from observational learning or observational conditioning, and obviously the least would be the control condition. So one of the things that's really helpful with our clients when we're working with our clients, especially if they're parents, etc., is that children learn by watching them, observational learning, and they imitate it. And children also learn by seeing how the caregivers treat each other. And then based on those consequences can also imitate it. So those takeaways are relatively important. And I just wanted to refresh your memory with this. So again, it's Albert Bandura's work, and this is from Social Learning Theory. I hope your day is a good one. I really do.